joy, peace, tranquility, vibrancy, and wellness. Isn't this what you want instead of constant stress? That's what host Rochelle Lawson is going to help you with on Blissful Living. There are many ways to reduce stress, some you may not even know about. Doesn't a little peace and tranquility sound like just what you've been looking for? Relax for a few minutes with Rochelle. She's the queen of feeling fabulous.
Hello, this is the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochelle Marie Lawson, and I want to welcome you to Blissful Living. I also want to let you know that it's a great time for you to take a moment, relax, and get comfortable. Find something to write with, piece of paper, your favorite spot to chill, maybe get your favorite beverage, cup of coffee, tea, herbal tea, water, lemonade, wine, whatever your favorite beverage is. And I want you to just take this time for yourself. As you know, I like to say we have to put ourselves first so that we can be the best that we can be and need to be for those that are dependent upon us, that love and care about us. So this is your nurturing, as I like to say, your blissful moment of the day. I want to also start the show with thanking our sponsors, blissfullivingforyou.com. Check them out. They've got some wonderful things around wellness and wealth and connecting those through wisdom and doing it all holistically so that what you build to sustain actually stays and you don't have to work so hard to keep it around. So check out Blissful Living for You at blissfullivingforyou.com. The next sponsor that I want to thank is a telecommunications installation company located in the heart of Silicon Valley. They've been in business for 30 years, and in today's climate, that's a long time to be in business because businesses come and go. But this company has been in business for 30 years, and they specialize in network distribution, meaning they install your voice, your data, your fiber, your wireless systems, your audio, your video, anything that has to do with communications the way we do it telephonically. You want to check them out. They are All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com. And their motto is, because we know how important it is to be telecommunicative, efficient, and effective, their motto is that they make the right connections the first time. Because if you can't connect with that customer or person on the other end, that can be very costly. So check out All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com for your telecommunications, installation, and distribution needs. Now, I have something really special, and I know I've been kind of keeping you on edge with who the guest is, but let me just tell you a little bit about her. First of all, I'm going to tell you her name. Her name is Tarsha McCrae, and she is a creative entrepreneur that has a message for you today that I guarantee you'll be so glad that you tuned into Blissful Living today. And the special thing that I want to announce is that Tarsha is a sponsor of today's show. So I want to give a shout out and a props to her, and I want you guys to really tune in and pay attention to all the wisdom she's going to bestow upon us today. As I like to share or say, they are nuggets of gold, and people pay thousands of dollars to get the nuggets of gold that are shared on this show for free. So check it out. Let me tell you about Tarsha. So Tarsha McCrae is a creative entrepreneur, product maker who works with mid-career professionals to fund the transition from corporate to creative by selling their expertise for profit. She runs behind the scenes of the Creative Huddle, Creative Pursuit School, and Catch Decor. Now, she hosts online events and creates bundled digital products to help creative entrepreneurs establish systems and get more clients while avoiding burnout. Tarsha believes everyone should express their creative outlet and share their gifts with the world. She stands for creatives to stop standing on the sidelines and push themselves to run a smart, valuable, and profitable business. She declares war on being stuck in the soul-sucking, unappealing, unsatisfying, sometimes 9-to-5 funk, and not profiting from doing what you love. Now, she's redefining the hustle, as we say, taking creative entrepreneurs out of a confused and overworked haze in exchange for a fresh and focused experience. And I would like to say, welcome, Tarsha, to Blissful Living. How you doing, girl?
I am well. Thank you so much, Rochelle, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the introduction.
I love what you are all about. I think, we women are coming into a time where we're recognizing the power that we have, and we're not willing to go by the status quo of how people think things should be for us versus how we think and know things should be for ourselves. And I am loving that energy because it's a long time coming. And I always would say, I don't care if you're married or not, you in a relationship or not. It's a powerful thing to be able to recognize what you're supposed to do and then step into doing it. And it's a give and take in the world. So if you're in a relationship, the relationship becomes one and you're a team. And the team cannot work efficiently or effectively or successfully if one of those members are not, being strong and holding up to that point. And women have done that for so long and have taken a back seat, and men have gotten all the credit. But when, in essence, without the woman, they couldn't achieve the success that they've had and be able to get that credit. So it's time for women to stop taking the back seat, recognize that we are equal on an equal playing field, and we can play with the big boys, and really just step into living the life of our dreams and doing what we want to do. So thank you so much, Tarsha, for doing what you want to do and sharing it with others as to how they can do it. Now, I want to get into, I really want to get into this cute little acronym or term that you say, which is a creative entrepreneur. Tell our listeners how that came to be about for you.
Sure. Thank you, Rochelle, and definitely completely agree with everything you said about women kind of not taking the back seat anymore. We're stepping out, we're standing in our power, we're taking the lead, and as you said, the time has, we waited long enough. So definitely the time is now. But the creative entrepreneur, that really kind of stemmed about from, and I guess I'll just kind of start with my story here in terms of working in research and evaluation for over 20 years. And I kind of, we kind of raised and brought up with you had your job, you retire, and then that's kind of it. And it's just like, I've been talking with my financial coach. I like to call him. He's actually my significant other. So it's funny when you talk about the give and take there, and then and relationships, and you can't get rich working for someone else. And if you're trying to aspire to certain goals that you have in your life, you kind of have to step out there and take the lead, and it can be scary, especially if you're just used to management in the typical way that we think about it in the office setting, as opposed to stepping out and creating your own business where you're the lead, you're the visionary, you're the management, you're everything,
Right.
And so that's kind of where things kind of started. And I just kind of had this calling a few years ago. I've always had, people always complimented me on, oh, you know how to decorate, you know how to design, things like that. You're really good with things inside the home. And I really just got my calling to start interior decorating and staging business. And so, I just basically believe that everyone should have a creative outlet, whether it's design, photography, art, helping others. Like we all have this calling outside of what we call our traditional, day jobs.
Right.
And so, if you want to do more of those things and you're thinking about doing them more and getting consistent income, starting out, it can be really, really hard. there's so much you got to take onto your shoulders, right? You have to prioritize, plan, and strategize like all the time, and still work with clients and customers. It's just
for sure.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, go ahead on, Tarsha.
No, I was just going to say, and so just kind of wrapping that all up. In addition to starting my decorating and staging business, I also hosted my first virtual event, and that was for designers. And then that kicked off the other business to host the events and create additional products for creatives under the Creative Huddle and Creative Pursuit Schools.
I love that. I love that. I mean, it's true. Take it from me. I've been in business for 30 years, and I'm only 29, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But the way business was done when I started business in the late 80s into how it is today is completely different. Mm-hmm. And you will not ever become wealthy working somebody else's 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Except for if you're people like, the top people or the first people that were in Facebook as employees or, Apple or Microsoft or something like that, but there's only a handful of those, right? Right. But, if you have something that you want to do and you're creative, granted, when I think of creative, the word creative, I think of somebody who's artistic. And you said, you had a really good eye. People will tell you for interior design and doing stuff within a home. But I think for you, what you're meaning is beyond the artistic part. It's more of a creative outlet of maybe something you're good at. Maybe just good at gardening or babysitting kids or something. But it's something you're good at, and you don't even recognize that as a creative talent. Now, I know you said that you particularly help creative entrepreneurs. What do you find with creative entrepreneurs that is a little bit more difficult for them to grasp than, say, like the traditional entrepreneur? I think all entrepreneurs at some aspects have are creative, obviously, but there are specific with regards to traditional and a creative way of doing things. What do you share? What do you help the creative entrepreneurs that come to you with?
So I would definitely say, again, excellent point, and I really like to focus on folks who are the solopreneurs. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. So, not only are we entrepreneurs, we're creative, but we're also, for the most part, working by ourselves. And so a lot of challenge comes with that because, you're the accountant, you're the social media, manager. You have to, you're doing paid ads, you're creating the content, and so on and so forth. And it's just like it's so difficult to try to do all those things. And I think with creatives, that's a lot of what we struggle with is just finding time for everything, finding out what to prioritize, what do we really give a lot of our attention to that's going to give us the most return, and not just chasing after the latest shiny thing or, this person is doing that. No, that looks nice. Let me do it, instead of trying to figure out your own process and your own system, Right. So I would say that those are like the main things that I find that the entrepreneurs I work with encounter on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, it's true. When you are a solopreneur, you are everything. You do everything. And, you spend a lot of time doing things in the creative realm, like creating whatever it is, processes or products or things for your business. And then you're also responsible for creating the content and setting up the ad and doing the sales page and all this stuff, which, takes a lot of time, and you can get bogged down in that. And so what I'm hearing you're saying is that you help people not to get bogged down into that, but to streamline, I guess, the most important priorities first.
Exactly, and also just helping them along this journey. So, you don't have to feel like you have to do this by yourself. I think a lot of times we work in isolation, and we can feel really lonely. But it's like once you kind of get out there and network through, whether it's an online group, online event, or even if it's in person, like there are people out there who can relate to what you're going through, and there are people out there who want to help you. And so another thing I like to do is just connect creatives to these resources and tools that are out there that they may not be aware of. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of noise, and it can just be hard to, filter through it and see like, okay, well, what's really good, what's for me, what works. I remember talking to a few designers just starting out, and they had all these questions and issues, and I was like, oh, do you know about such and such? Do you know about this person who's doing this? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, people, like, let's not reinvent the wheel here. Like, you don't have time. Like, you're trying to do this, and these people have full-time jobs as well. And it's like, so we're already starting out at a disadvantage because we don't have the typical 40 hours a week to work on our creative, hustle. We can probably only give about 20 or so hours or so, So you have to really maximize and be efficient with that time. And, people are short on time. So I connect them with people, tools, events, resources to really help them along their journey. So to kind of avoid that overwhelm, to kind of avoid that, well, I don't know what to do next, and I don't, it's just helping them get a process in place, a plan in place.
Right, gotcha. So with regards to helping people, because you mentioned something that was really key, is when you are a solopreneur, you are pretty much isolated, the socialization that you usually have when you go into the 9-to-5 hustle, it's not there. You're generally working at home, or you're working from an office, shared office space. I don't know the appropriate term for what those are called now, but they have little shared spaces, which are cool, but you still feel isolated. Most people I know that are solopreneurs are working from home. They got a home office, which is cool, great, cool. But you do lose the socialization, and so you're not connected. Basically, you lose a little bit of the connection. And so you mentioned a key thing about getting out and networking, and I think that's very important for people to hear. And not only is it do you get to socialize and chit chat and tell people about what you do, but also you're able to pick up information or resources that you may not be able to get when you're at home, or meet people like you that can help people to figure out the processes that they need to do so that they be more efficient and effective with their, creative hustle. And I want to ask you with regard to that, if somebody is looking to start a business, say they've discovered that, I like doing this is my creative outlet, or I've discovered my purpose, and I want to make my purpose. I want to take it into beyond being a passion for me, but I want to take it into becoming a profitable thing, so that it's like starting my business. What would you say to someone that's about ready to do that? What would be 3 key pieces of advice you would say to someone that's about ready to do that?
So I wowould say, first of all, just do as much research as possible into running a business in general. I mean, it's fine, you've identified, you have your passion project, you've identified what you want to do, but, just to kind of take a back step from that is to look at how to run a business. I think a lot of us, we're out there and we're just like, oh, we're going to create this website, and we're going to put up these pretty photos, and we're going to get clients. And it's like, no, it doesn't really, work like that. I mean, there's a lot you have to take into account when you're running your business. Like, what's the cost of you acquiring, your customers? What's your process you're going to put in place to help, replicate your system so someone can come in and help you, get to the point where you want to scale. I mean, there's just so many things to take into account when starting a business, and that's just not even the tip of the iceberg with that. So I would say that is one main thing. There's a lot of free resources out here with the Small Business Administration. They're really good at helping folks who really want to start their business, who are serious about starting their business, and free tools and resources there. I will also say, again, getting back to the networking piece, that's really been essential for me. is reaching out to designers who were in the field, who have been in the field for 30 plus years, you know?
Right.
Like, they've been there, they've done that, and they can connect you to either other people or other things that can help you in your business. I mean, sure, you can Google, you can look for this and you can look for that, but I mean, when you really start talking to people who've been in the field for years, you get more access to things that really work, you know, that are really authentic and genuine in terms of helping you in terms of growing your business. So you have to get out there. You have to talk to people. You have to.
Yeah, I agree. I have, you know, you again mentioned another key golden nugget, audience. I'm pointing this one out to you, that when you get out and you network and you connect with people and you start sharing what you do, what your purpose is, what you do, who you are, that kind of stuff, you will meet people that are very genuine, that have been in business for a long time and are willing to bestow their wisdom upon you so that you don't have to go through the hard knocks that they went through to get the wisdom. Again, information that is worth thousands of dollars, but it actually can become very priceless in the terms of helping you to succeed or not making mistakes that lead to demise, so to speak. And I can't say that because when I first started out as a business owner and I started networking, there were some very beautiful women that took me under their wing, so to speak, and just I've been able to do so many amazing things, and it was all because of these women, because I shared with them what I did. But they also took me under their wing and they introduced me to people, but they also shared their hard knock stories with me so that I didn't have to make that, or at least if I was going to be still dumb enough to pursue it and do it my way and, you know, I have to come to my own head, right? Oh, that happened to you, ain't going to happen to me. But at least I would have some kind of wisdom. So when it came around to fruition and it didn't happen or didn't work, I was like, dang, you know what, I should have listened or whatever. But that stuff is priceless, and I don't think we place enough value on that information. I mean, there's so many women and men too that I've met that have been in the game, so to speak, for a long time and actually are transitioning out. And gave me some wonderful advice. And you also mentioned something else about, you know, working at 9 to 5, and this was probably more closer to the intro, but when you work in a 9 to 5, you're never going to get rich, unless I said you like some people. But also, I have witnessed this as well. People put in, 30, 40 years working at 9 to 5. When they retire, there's no big party for them. There's nothing. And some of these people die in less than 3 years after retiring, after working so hard so that they can enjoy the fruits of what they put in, And a lot of times, some of these people didn't even enjoy the job that they were in. It's just that they had been in so long. They were afraid to make the change, right? Do something they enjoyed. They were fearful. Or, whatever. So, I mean, I love how you're just stating, like, people, you just, if you want to do it, you just got to do it. These are some of the things you need to do, some of the things you need to be aware of, because let me tell you guys, having a business is not easy. It's not all peaches and cream. It actually can be very detrimental and kill you if you don't take good care of yourself. And so Tarsha is really bestowing this food for thought for all of us to really take hold of, if we want to step into something and be a creative entrepreneur, we don't have to do it alone. There's help. And she said there are resources available that are, you can Google them or you can connect with people like her that can help you and streamline things just to make it a little bit more simpler process for you, so you're not on that big ship trying to command the sea by yourself, right? So now, Tarsha, what do you think are some of your unique skills that has helped you to become successful? And the reason why I'm asking is because I'm by far probably at the front of the line with this. I have talents that I don't even think are recognized that are my talents. To me, it's just what I do. You know what I mean? It's just like what I do. Like when I was working in the emergency room, I'm going to say I was the bombest nurse that you could ever get. Okay, I was intuitive. I knew, but to me, it was just something I did. I didn't recognize that I had a gift or I was talented at. It was just something that I did. Like being in school, I got straight A's. It was just something I did. I didn't work hard at. To me, I didn't work hard, but I didn't recognize that as a talent. I discounted, and a lot of people do that. They have these wonderful talents and stuff that they do that they don't even know is possibly their purpose that could be leading them into creative entrepreneurship. So what has been some of the unique skills that you had that helped you to be successful with becoming a creative entrepreneur?
So I would say definitely a few things, and I guess I'll start with my, you kind of have to look at your personality as well. So I'm an introvert. I'm also a very analytical person, so I think that helps me because I have this kind of skill to like really look at different options, really weigh them, look at the pros and cons, and you have to do that in your business. Like you just can't run after, the next shiny thing or the next big thing or what's hot, in terms of running your business. You have to really take a step back, look and see how is this going to help me. What resources do I need to put this in place, and how can I really move this forward? I would say another thing is my ability to put together resources. I've always had this knack for gathering all this information. Sometimes that can be overwhelming, so I have learned to kind of, pull that back a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I would say just being able to pull together, certain resources for people and just high quality information for people, none of the junk that's out there. And another thing I would say is just perseverance. Like, you have to persevere in any business, and it takes an incredible amount of dedication and commitment to do this, especially when you have a full-time job. I mean, some Friday nights would I rather be out, happy hour, enjoying a fine, a gourmet meal, nice glass of wine or something. Of course. Would I rather be shopping with a girlfriend or something like that? Of course. But I have to stay in, I'm working on the computer, working on this next big, launch. Trying to get things done, or I'm working with this client for this particular project. And so it's easy to not be consistent. It's easy just to not have that dedication. But it's like, especially when you're first starting out, you have to put in that extra effort. You have to put in that drive until you get it to the point where you can scale, you can bring on more people, you can outsource to help you run your business.
Yes, I agree. I like you said one of my favorite words, and that is persevere. Persevere. I can't stress it enough how important that is to be able to persevere. But also you said some other key things with regards to, being diligent, recognizing or realizing that owning the business is not always the glamorous life. It's not the glamorous life we see with the, Bill Gates and the Oprah Winfrey's and all of them of the world, because believe me, they go through this stuff too. It's just now they have a team or teams of people that handle all the unnecessary little chatter, and they only hear the big chatter stuff, right? So it's not always going to be peaches and cream, and you got to have a hustle and grind, because like everything in life, business is cyclical. There's ups and downs. It's just like the stock market. You're going to have your booming times, and you're going to have your times of challenge. And you have to be able to persevere in those times when it's difficult, right? So you mentioned that. But also you said you were really good at doing research and bringing good, bona fide, pertinent research, and not the stuff that anybody can get by just hitting it in Google. And so that was a skill you realized about yourself, and that's something unique within you. So you know that you are going to research something to the hilt and get the most best information possible before you even reach out and pursue that. So is there something that is there a piece of advice that you would share with the listeners right now when it comes to a methodology or a method of just sitting back and contemplating what their unique gift is that can help solidify strength if they choose to decide to become a creative entrepreneur and step out on their own?
Sure. I would definitely say, definitely work out a plan in terms of looking at your, we want to call it passion project, creative hustle, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. And just make sure it's profitable. I mean, if it's not profitable at the end of the day, then you have a hobby, right? You don't have a business. In order to have a business, you have to sell. You have to get comfortable with selling. So the first thing I would say is really start looking at, is this profitable? Is this something that someone would need? Is this something that someone would buy? And there are so many different avenues that you can take to, and I can share resources afterwards in terms of different sites you can go to help you with this, different things that you can research. Like, so you want to have a clear idea in terms of your niche. Who are you helping and why? Are you working with women of a certain age, a certain income bracket, certain educational levels, and then really kind of, hone in on that population and just figure out, like, what their issues are, what their challenges are, what they're struggling with, and relate that back to, your passion project. So I can say for me, it's interior decorating and working with, again, mid-career professionals of a certain age, and, they want a nice house. They want to come home to something that's very comfortable, something that's very eye-pleasing, but they don't have the time or the know-how to pull it off. There's so much that goes into design in terms of working with contractors and vendors and orders and all this stuff. So I have to work with them and sell it in terms of, this is convenience for you. This is added value to you because I'm helping you through this process. I'm taking away some of that headache so you don't have to. And then we can have this lovely finished product at the end. So I would say really do a lot of research into, is it profitable? Who's your niche, your niche audience, target audience who you can work with. And then I would say start working on your process, looking at your system. So be very familiar with, don't just have a bunch of stickies and spreadsheets all over the place. There are plenty of programs out here that can help you in terms of, I guess, more of like the administrative or process part of your business, the systems part of your business, helping you to automate and things like that. You want to get that under control as well, because you don't want to work with a client and, the client is like following up with you for like next steps. You know what I mean? Like you want to be very clear in terms of this is how, you work with me, or, this is how, we can work together and make this the best experience for both of us. So be very familiar with your process. And then you can get into some of this other stuff that, we have the whole, the marketing and promotion. So whether that's social media and, where to find your ideal audience on social media, or whether or not you should look at paid ads on different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you're doing more B2B type businesses. So I would say those are the main things to really kind of start with. And then from there, you can start looking at really branching out and scaling and outsourcing and things like that. But those are some of the core things that I kind of recommend you get under control first, and that you get very familiar with first before you really start to looking to expand and really grow the business.
Right. Oh, wow. Lots of information there. It's good because I think, if someone out there is contemplating or, taking on their passion and turning it into profit, there are some things that people should know. And I like how you said, mentioning like just this. If you're doing something and you're not making money from it, it's not a business. It's a hobby. Unfortunately or fortunately, capitalism is all about making a profit. And, if you're not making a profit, well, okay, let me rephrase. There's strategies behind that. Strategies, right? For governmental purposes, but for common sense purposes, if you're spending more money than you making, then you're in the red, and you can always be in the black. And that happens. But if you're spending money and you're not making any money, then you got a hobby. And to transition from a hobby to an actual business, Tarsha can help you with that with regards to providing and giving you research and getting be streamlined to more targeted information that's going to help you transition from the hobby to the actual business per se, and turning that passion into something that's profitable and creative and fulfilling for you. Now, with regards to being a creative entrepreneur in working with people, what are some of the most common challenges that people come to you with when it comes to doing the everyday stuff of their business? What are some of the most common challenges that they may come to you with?
Oh, goodness. There are quite a few. I would say being overwhelmed and exhausted, not having enough time in the day, being able to prioritize. And the key thing that a lot of people struggle with is consistency. And so when and another issue is, you're doing all this work and you may not be spending as much time with, loved ones, family, friends, again, some of those social things that I kind of mentioned before. And sometimes that can kind of take a toll on you and your relationships as well. You're missing family events. And so you always want to make sure that you try to balance everything. The work's still going to be there.
Right,
so,
exactly.
You have to balance. So I like to do little things like staycation. So if I'm in the middle of a launch or a really extensive project, then, you have to take little breaks for yourself. Maybe you go to the spa or something like that. I mean, again, it's like building in that self-care as well. Maybe you do like a little staycation. You don't have to go far. This could be just like a little hotel or, just a little getaway, a local getaway, but it's like a different environment to just kind of help you clear your head, and then you can come back and tackle, everything that's going on. But I would say those are probably the main things that people come back with. And that overwhelm and exhaustion consistency, a lot of that really kind of stems from not having a solid process. Again, I always come back to this, for having a solid process in place. And so you're kind of like, you're pulling from here, you're pulling from there, you're trying to see what works. If it doesn't work, then you switch up to something else. And it's like, well, no, you have to put something in place. And then you have to be consistent with it and to see it through. But it's so easy for us to go, well, that's not working. You had it out for 1 day, 2 days. But it's like, well, did you do everything you need to do behind the scenes to really make this successful? Are you really putting in the time to it? Or are you trying to look for something that's going to be a quick win? And in business, a lot of times there are not a lot of quick wins sometimes. So you have to be able to, adjust for that and accommodate that as well when you're trying to, again, take your passion project to the next level and get to the point where you want to start bringing in consistent income and kind of get out of this hobby status,
Right. I mean, lots of good information within what you said with regard to that. It can be intense, but it can be done, and that's where the power of having relationships outside of your home, so to speak, and networking come into key play. You said, there's times where, you're trying to figure out life balance stuff, and it can be difficult, but it definitely can be done. There was a time when my kids were young, and I say they were little. I think my daughter was like 7, my son was 10, and I was doing a lot of stuff with regards to, I was the president of the National Association of Women Business Owners in Silicon Valley at the time, and I lived about an hour away from San Jose. And so, and my son, I could always find stuff for him, right, because he was an athlete, so he'd go to basketball practice with his friends or football practice with his friends. That was easy. But my daughter, she was, my baby, and I couldn't always, I'm not going to pawn my daughter off. I'm not saying I was pawning my son off when he was doing an activity. Long story short is, so what I would do is, I'm like, I can't find a babysitter. I've got, my business. I'm running my business. I'm involved in things that are going to elevate my business. I need to show up, especially being a president or something, right? So I bought her some little suits and some little really nice dresses. I told her, you gonna come with Mama to these meetings. I'm gonna give you some paper, some pencils. You're gonna play and be quiet and sit there like you're taking notes. And so that's what we did. So I would get dressed. I'd be dressed for my meetings. Get her dressed when she came home from school. We'd jam in San Jose. And, she'd be sitting in the board meeting. And then another lady had a little girl that was about the same age, and she was a high-power entrepreneur as well. And they were about the same age. So she started I'm like, yeah, girl, bring your girl. We're working career business women. We got to figure it out. And so she bring her, and the two of them would sit back there and do their little things like they were holding their own little meeting. It was so cute. But it allowed me, one, to spend time with my daughter because the drive was an hour each way. So I got 2 hours of undivided attention and time to talk to her at 7, 8, pick her brain about what's going on in her little mind, right? Educate her on some things that I wanted her to know about. So I got that time. And then I was able to do my work stuff that I need to do that was fulfilling and bringing the money into the household. So it was a balanced thing. So it was a creative thing. And then with my son, he was being taken care of, doing what he was doing, and everybody was getting satisfied and fulfilled. And it was just me reshifting a little bit of what I do instead of trying to find a babysitter and stretch them and all this stuff. It just worked out. Now the end of the story, the moral of the story is the girl that grew up. She's in her mid-20s and soon to be late 20s, and she is killing it in her career. And I'm like, where did you learn this stuff? Like, I'm thinking, I've never done this or never had these ideals. And she says, well, Mommy, remember when I used to go to those meetings with you? And I'd be sitting there kind of bored, but she goes, I was just watching what you do, and I just kind of emulated what you ladies do. And I'm like, wow. So you never know when you're like going to be passing or bestowing information or wisdom on your kids or family members just by trying to have work-life balance and take care of things. So that was the moral of that long story. But just to share with you ladies and gentlemen out there that it is possible to be a creative entrepreneur. It is possible to step out on your own. Tarsha shares and shows people how to do that. I'm sharing just my personal stories of, what it's like to be an entrepreneur and how we can do it. And you're not alone. The key thing is you're not alone. There's people out there to help you, and you can go out and network and find a wealth of people and information and things that will help you advance with being more successful as an entrepreneur than you could ever imagine, just sitting in your home and just doing you and your business and thinking it's all great. That will work for a point in time, but at a certain point in time, you got to get beyond the doors of your home if you really want your business to grow and be sustainable. So now, Tarsha, I want to talk about, I know that you mentioned you do these events, and you do these online events and things of that nature. So can you just share with the listeners a little bit, because I know you've got like Take Back Control retreat that you do, and you got your Creative Entrepreneur Bundle. So can you just share with the listeners, first of all, a little bit about why you decided to do these type of events, and then we'll move into what exactly the events are all about.
Sure. So I shared before that a few years ago I did my first virtual event or online conference, and that was under the Creative Pursuit School. And then I decided earlier this year to form another brand, the Creative Huddle, which really just solely looked at hosting these events, providing these products, but for all creative entrepreneurs, particularly women who were just starting out and are running their businesses on the side. And so I really kind of started thinking of a way that I could kick off the Creative Huddle. And so I thought, well, why not do an event? And that's where Take Back Control, the Take Back Control virtual retreat came into play. But to kind of back up a little bit, I started doing these events because, we can't always travel to, the latest conference. Sometimes there are travel restrictions, maybe there are budget considerations that you need to take into place or time considerations. So I thought about, well, how do we kind of bring all this expertise? Again, we're talking about networking, and we're talking about being more involved and talking more with experts and mentors than to help bring that experience to the entrepreneur. And so that's another way that the virtual events kind of came about, because it was like, well, if you can't travel, you should still have access to these resources and to good resources, to women, again, who've been there, who've done that, who are sharing their story, sharing the ups and downs that they went through. Now they're having more wins, they're having more success, and they want to help other entrepreneurs build up as well, build their business up as well. So I figured it's just a way to kind of have this virtual resource, this virtual library for your own use. You look at it when you can access the videos and look at the trainings, whenever you want.
Right. I love it. And so I also like, you said something really cool there, was like, not everybody has the time or money, the finances, or just the synchronicity with regards to their life to be able to travel to an event. I know like there are a ton of events I would like to go to, but I also know that I only have so much time doing my own stuff. I've got my businesses, and I've just got other obligations. I can't always travel. If I could get paid to travel, girl, I would be doing it 24/7, right? 24/7. However, I haven't figured that one out yet. That's probably my next creative entrepreneurial thing.
There you go.
But you created it where it's a way that people can go, be a participant in the retreat, and on the times they can't be there, they can always come back and look and engage in the information that was shared. And I like that because it opens up a possibility. The possibility becomes from a finite possibility to an infinite possibility with regards to being able to attend the retreat whenever you can fit it into your schedule. So I love that. So now tell us a little bit more about the Take Back Your Control retreat. And if you have anything coming up, should we be keeping our eyes open? Give us the deets, girl. We want to know. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Sounds good. Well, the website to check everything out is takebackcontrolretreat.com. And we kick off November 18th through the 21st. So it's 4 whole days of listening to and interacting with the ladies. Again, we run from some of the top entrepreneurs here, women entrepreneurs in their field. So we're talking about things from growth and profits. We're talking about things in terms of visibility, branding, media, and sales, support systems. Again, going back to working with mentors, going back to networking and interaction. We're talking about self-care. There's one speaker, she's talking about life first, business second. So it's not about getting lost in your business and losing yourself, but still maintaining your own sense of, purpose. And then we're also talking about mindset and, of course, prepping for the transition from corporate to creative, is which I call it, or if you're looking to move into doing your passion project full time. And so that's a lot of what we're covering during the Take Back Control retreat, which also relates back to a lot of things we talked about during this conversation in terms of the steps in the process to kind of get your creative business up and running and how to grow it, how to scale it.
I love it. So, again, you said the retreat is going to be taking place November 18th through the 21st, which is very soon. And is there a cost associated with it? Yeah. So first of all, is there a cost associated with it?
No, you just go to takebackcontrolretreat.com, send in your information, submit your name, and we'll make sure to get in touch with you when the event kicks off November 18th. So, again, there's no cost to look at the trainings for the first 24 hours that we release them.
Perfect.
But if you, sometimes, life gets in the way. Sometimes there might be a last-minute distraction, and maybe you don't get a chance to listen to some of the sessions that you want to listen to. So we do have an option for you to upgrade your experience. And if you purchase a retreat upgrade pass, you can look at the sessions whenever you want to. And that's very affordably priced as well. So look at the sessions whenever you want, binge watch, watch your favorite sessions on repeat, watch them on the go. Just when you have time, when you finally get the kids down or, you finally get a minute to yourself, then you can just kind of take it all in over the course of, a few days, a few weeks, whatever works best for your schedule. But no, it's free to save your seat and join us.
Okay, cool. So here you guys, you have it. It's free to initially look at it, and you can do that for 24 hours. And then after that, if you want to upgrade your experience, where you have the option to look at the retreat when it's convenient for you, or maybe go back and look at somebody else, maybe go back and look at one of the speakers, a couple, 3 times. They really said something that resonated with you, or you felt you missed something, or you just, whatever it is, you have an option to go back and look at that multiple times by upgrading your experience, which I think is great. Again, Tarsha, the whole time we've been talking, hopefully you guys have picked up the fact that everything we've been talking about has been elevating. It was the structure to succinctly elevate your level of experience with Tarsha, leading you to the moment of how she utilizes, the culmination of how she utilizes her experience as a creative entrepreneur to elevate her business. And so the retreat is a must. I highly suggest this, particularly since there's no cost, no harm, no foul. You go check it out. You love it, great. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. But, you're not paying for it. A lot of times we have to pay for things, and when we dive in, it sounds all good, and then we dive in and realize, what the heck? And you make it like that. Tarsha got it where you can check it out, and if you love it, great, upgrade your experience, and then you can have it with you 24/7. Now, how many speakers did you say was going to be in it?
Oh, goodness. We have a little over 40.
Okay, so lots of information. Lots and lots of information. So I guarantee that if you start listening, there's going to be somebody, probably a lot more than one, but somebody is going to say some stuff that resonates with you, that's going to really want you to pay more close attention and really help you up-level your game. Now, I know, like with the virtual retreats that Tarsha is doing, again, these speakers are sharing nuggets of gold that people pay thousands of dollars to get from them by working with them individually. And when you have an opportunity to hear this wisdom, and you can do it, for free in the essence of wherever you are at that moment in time, it's just magnificent. It's actually something that it becomes priceless, right, Tasha? Right? It becomes priceless.
It's so true, so true. And like you said, we really have someone for everyone. So you'll definitely find someone that you'll connect with and like, I want to learn more about this person. I want to hear more from this person. There's going to be a lot of it doing that. And it's really all about, helping you overcome the overwhelm, helping you overcome the exhaustion. Like you said, it's time to get refueled, energized, and really take on 2020 with a real purpose, because it's right around the corner.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is. So there you guys.
It is close.
It is very close. I'm like, 2020. I'm thinking, shouldn't we be having flying cars now?
I know, right? All this.
I'm dating myself, but I think the Jetsons actually was supposed to be 2024. Somebody was telling me that the other day, and I was like, wow. When I was a little kid, that just seemed oh my God,
so far away.
Oh, that's like 100 years away. It wasn't, but but now it's I'm here. It wasn't really 100 years, and we're not flying. Well, cars aren't flying.
Not yet.
Right. You have to deal with this traffic in California or wherever I may be. It's horrendous, but I'm so blessed and grateful that I'm able to experience traffic. That's just another blessing. It just you learn so much about yourself and others when you drive in traffic.
Yeah, I like that. You're looking for the positives and everything. That's what you need to do. That's what you have to do.
Exactly. God, because, girl, there's so much negativity that's being slammed dunk in our face on the daily 24/7 that you can get bogged down by it. So I try to just, turn everything as, as positive as possible because in every bit, it's a law of balance, right? And every negative is a positive, right? And if you shine more light on the positive, it outshines the negative. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just me and my everyday grind and hustle. But anyway, so back to you, Tarsha. So Tarsha McCrae is having this virtual retreat, Take Back Control, November 18th through the 21st. You heard it here on Blissful Living. She's bringing it to you to help all of you out there listening to do whatever it is you want to do, step into your purpose, become a creative entrepreneur, up-level your business that you're doing in, understand what it is to be a solopreneur and how you can elevate your game, or just get words of wisdom that might help you in your regular 9-to-5. Whatever the case may be, Take Back Your Control is definitely something that you want to be involved with and involved in. And again, Tarsha, can you give them the website one more time where they can sign up and get connected?
Sure, and I hope everyone will join us over at takebackcontrolretreat.com. So please check us out.
Okay, there you have it, takebackcontrolretreat.com, takebackcontrolretreat.com. And now, Tarsha, if anybody wants to connect with you personally, how can they do that?
Sure, you can just come visit me over at thecreativehuddle.com. That's thecreativehuddle, HUDDLE.com. Okay.
So, multiple ways to get connected with Tarsha McCrae. Thecreativehuddle.com and takebackyourcontrolretreat.com. I want to thank you, Tarsha, for being a guest on Blissful Living and sharing your words of wisdom and your nuggets of gold, and just the whole term of being a creative entrepreneur. I love that. That's just a beautiful term. Thank you for giving us time out of your day today to be with us.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. I really appreciate you having me on the show. I really hope I've been able to share a little bit about my story, a little bit about what I do, and I hope it helps someone out there with their passion project, with their side hustle or creative gig. Just really understand that there is a way that, or really just kind of help them visualize that you can make it a full-time business if you really put in the effort and take advantage of the resources that we have. And join us at takebackcontrolretreat.com.
Love it. There you have it. Thank you. And again, remember, you guys, Tarsha McCrae is a sponsor of today's show. So please give her lots of props, lots of love. Share this show with everybody you know, love, and care about. Go to takebackyourcontrolretreat.com. Check it out. Or go to thecreativehuddle.com. Check her out. Definitely somebody you want to stay connected with. And then I also want to thank Blissful Living for you at blissfulliving, 4U.com. Check out what they have in store for you to help elevate your game in life as well, so that you can step in and live the life of your dreams. And I want to thank All Day Cable Incorporated, alldaycableinc.com. And I'd like to thank them for their wonderful years of being in business, as well as being the best telecommunications installation company in the land. So there you have it. And to all of you, I want to wish you a very fabulous day. As always, I like to wish you peace to your mind, wellness to your body, and tranquility to your spirit. Until next time, this is the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochelle Marie Lawson, saying goodbye and have a fabulous day. Take good care, everyone.
You can find out more about Rochelle on her website, Rochelle Lawson, Rochele Lawson, Lawson, or at healthhealingwellness.com. Or just click on her websites from the webtalkradio.net page right in front of you. And of course, you'll want to come right back here next week for another episode of Blissful Living. Thanks for joining us.